This is a tutorial on the Chrome operating system, also called Chrome OS, and its accessibility features. Chrome OS is the operating system that all Chromebooks use. So basically, this tutorial is if you use a Chromebook or your students use Chromebooks, the different things, the different built-in features that that Chrome already has. So let's get started here. Let me just refresh this page really quickly. Hopefully it works. It does. If you click right down here, this is called your status area. See my mouse cursor? And you click settings. You scroll all the way down, show advanced settings, scroll down to where it says accessibility. Here are all the Chromebook accessibility options. The first box you want to check is the one that says show accessibility options in the system menu. And the second box you want to check is show large mouse cursor. I like that, especially when I do these screencasts. Makes everything very visible. It's good for little kids, and it's also good for people who are visually impaired. So if I X out of this, I want to show you what the first checkbox did. The first checkbox now allowed us to click the status area, and here we go. Accessibility options appears, and you click settings one more time, and here are the rest of the options. Another thing you can do is use high contrast mode. When you click this, the white turns black and the black fonts turn white. For some reason, this does not show up in the screencast that you're currently watching. But when you're done watching the screencast, go try it out for yourself. It's pretty cool. Again, it changes the background to dark and the fonts to white. I'm going to unclick that. That's very good for visual impaired people. Sticky keys is another accessibility option that's good for people who have low dexterity in their fingers. A sticky key basically enables people to hold down more than one key without really doing it. So for instance, I'm going to check this off right now. If I have to press Control Alt Z, for instance, instead of pressing all three keys at the same time, I can press Control. Now notice up here, Control is highlighted. So right now it's acting as if I'm holding the Control button down, but I'm not. Now I'm going to press Alt. Now it's acting as if I'm holding the Control and Alt button down. I'm really not, though. If I do Control Alt Z, it turns on something called Chromevox, which we'll talk about later. But let me just press the Z button so you know what I mean. When I press Z, this box, a check should appear. And it did. And now I'm going to uncheck it. So sticky keys are really cool, and they're good if you do not want to have to keep holding down more than one key on your keyboard at the same time. So I'm going to uncheck that. Another thing that's really cool is something called tap dragging. Okay, tap dragging, I'll click it, basically means, it says it right here, to move objects on the screen, tap and drag your finger. So instead of holding your mouse cursor down and dragging it across the screen, you can tap it once and then drag it across the screen. Again, it's very good for people who have dexterity problems in their fingers. It's just much easier to use if you have to constantly drag things with your mouse. I'm going to uncheck the tap dragging. Another one that I really like is automatically click when the mouse pointer stops. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. Automatically click when the mouse pointer stops. So if I check that, and I'm going to scroll over to where up here where it says about Chrome OS, I'm going to stop the mouse cursor and it's going to click automatically. And it just did. I'll scroll over to the button done, and when I stop, it'll click. So again, very good for people with dexterity problems. Another one, enable on-screen keyboard. This is if you have a touchscreen. I don't have a touchscreen. You can also use the mouse, but it's better for the touchscreen. But again, if you don't feel like typing and you can only use a mouse, you can type in that way as well. So that's really cool. and enable screen magnifier. It sounds exactly what it's exactly what it sounds like. If you click it, everything is completely magnified, and you just put the mouse button to the right, down, to the left, up, and it magnifies everything that's on the screen. Very good for the visually impaired. You can also click this option that says keep magnifier focused centered on the screen. Okay. So we went through all of them. Tap dragging, automatically click, on-screen keyboard. The only thing we did not go over yet is enable Chrome Vox. Now, instead of clicking it here, I'm going to go to this screen and read a little bit about it for you. It says Chrome Vox is your Chromebook's screen reader. To have screen behavior described to you or web pages read out loud, hold down the Shift and Search keys and then press down the arrow keys to highlight the area you'd like read to you. Your passwords will not be read for security. So to turn it on and off, you put Control-Alt-Z. You press Control-Alt-Z. So I'll do that now and listen to it. Now, I'm going to hold down the Shift and Search and then hit an arrow. So now I'm holding Shift and Search on my Chromebook. And now I'm going to press the down arrow and listen to what happens.
Chromebox visited link is your Chromebook screen reader. To have screen behavior described to you or web pages read out loud, hold down the Shift and Search keys or Windows key on an external keyboard, then press the arrow keys to highlight the area you'd like read to you.
Okay, I'm going to press Control-Alt-Z again to disable it. And now I'd like to show you one last thing about Chrome Vox. For more options about Chrome Vox, hit the status, accessibility, settings, and then underneath Chrome Vox, when you enable it, if you hit settings, it brings you to another.
Chromebox options. Chromebox options. Heading 1.
It brings you to another huge screen with many, many different Chromebox options. This is a really neat tool that the Chrome operating system has built into itself. It is perfect for people who are visually impaired and other impairments as well. You can change the language.
Voice by selecting. Change the current voice by selecting.
You can hook
from the list below. Chrome OS US English.
You,
Box 11 of 13.
You can hook up Braille options, Braille keyboards, and all sorts of other navigation options.
Turn on Chromebook accessibility.
And lastly, speaking of Braille, in the Chromebook accessibility features, there are different Braille displays on how to connect them and what Braille displays are compatible. So that's a very quick tutorial. I hope you learned something about Chromebook accessibility features. I hope you can use this in your classrooms or even in your own life if you know people with disabilities that this would help. Thank you.